No, I mean these guys. It started with Sanchez, and Scherzer now tonight. Strauss. I mean they're feeding off each other. They really are, and it's fun to watch.
Other questions for Davey? Arash, to your left, Dave.
What do you mean by that, Dave? About feeding off each other as pitchers? We hear hitting's contagious. How do starters do that?
Yeah, they sit there and they watch and they talk and they communicate and they get together and they're going over what they've done that helped them get successful that day, and then the next guy comes up, and even though Scherzer and Strauss are hard and Sanchez, they watch videos, they watch, and then they go out and they compete. They compete every day, and they compete amongst themselves, and it's like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Arash has a follow-up, I think.
So do you mean pregame in terms of the video study? They do it as a group kind of
Yeah,
thing?
they sit down and they communicate. Yeah, I mean, this is an unbelievably close group of guys, and they're all they pull for each other. They all stand there and watch the first pitch. They don't miss each other's pitch, first pitch of the game, and they're watching everything, and they're learning from one another.
That's unique, isn't it?
These guys are, like I said, these guys, they've been good all year, and they've been behind each other all year. And when one guy seems to fail, I never heard them. They all congregate again, and they sit and they get right back after, and they pick them up, and they said, "Here we go. Next start, we're right there. Here we go." And it's been a lot of fun.
David in the second row.
Hey, Davey. Your team obviously struggled early this year. Right now, they're probably playing as confidently as they have all year. How important is confidence to a team's success, and how confident are you that you can wrap up this series and go on to win a World Series?
It's huge, but it didn't just start like miraculously. This has been something that's been building since the end of May. I mean, we had our backs against the wall, and they stuck with it, and they believed in each other, and they believed that they were going to bounce back, and this thing was going to turn around. And I've said it before, we've been playing playoff games since then. We had to play really good to come back and do the things we've done. And now, at September, they believed that they can do this, and they're going out there and they're not taking anything for granted. And they're playing really hard, and they're playing to win one game every day. I mean, the big message, and I say it every day, is to go 1-0 every day, and they believe that.
We'll stay in that row.
Yeah, at the pregame press conference, everybody was asking Patrick Corbin about him relieving. I mean, it's obviously your idea to bring you to start as relievers. Why did you decide to do that, and how does that affect the game?
I mean, for me, obviously Patrick is going to start tomorrow. The other day when I put him in to face one hitter, I went to go get him, and he actually made a comment about, well, I could probably be a left-on-left guy. And I said, not right now, you're not, I said, so just get your rest and be ready to pitch game 4. And he's ready. But these guys, like I said, they get it. And they want to do whatever they can to help us win. They believe in each other. I mean, I've said this before, they're all in. They all care for each other. It's one big family in there, and they just want to win every day.
Standing to your right.
Davey, you've done a remarkable job of trying to keep Howie healthy all year, and Zim as well. Of course, Zim was on the IL with the foot problem, but to have both of them come up so huge in this game, and with Howie with three doubles tonight and 3 RBI, can you just speak to what that means to the middle of that lineup?
Big. I mean, it's huge for us. Him and Zim both are playing really well on both sides of the ball, man. I mean, I know how he's hitting, but they both, he had his struggles in the Dodgers series, and he made a pretty good play that day at second base. But we're getting professional at bats from those guys. Everybody says they're older, and I just look at them just guys that have been around and veteran guys that have stepped up to the moment, and they're a big reason why we're here. Having those two guys healthy helps us out a lot.
In the last row, AJ.
Being where he is in his career, do you get a sense of how badly Howie wants this?
Oh, he wants it, and the rest of his teammates, feed off of that, and they see it. We're all big fans of Howie, every one of us in that clubhouse, and what he does on the field, off the field. I mean, he's been that quiet leader for us all year long.
Do 3 more quick ones in the middle.
Dave, all season long you've told the team, we just have to go 1-0 today, 1-0 today, and you guys have done that pretty consistently. Do you kind of allow yourself and the guys to start thinking, well, if we go 1-0 tomorrow, we're going to the World Series? Do you allow yourself to start thinking ahead a bit, or still not 1-0?
Honestly, and I mean this sincerely, I have not thought about it yet. I'm worried about just getting through tomorrow. Go 1-0 tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens then. But yeah, I never. I thought about lineups and stuff for tomorrow, and we know Pat's going. I like the fact that we didn't have to use Huddy or Do today. That was nice. So we're prepared for tomorrow.
2 more lined up in front. And
That last inning mound conversation with Strasburg, what did he say to you, and what did you say to him?
He didn't want to come out of the game. And I was trying to explain to him, hey, you just grabbed your hamstring. So there's a little concern. He goes, no, I cramped up. I'm fine. I always cramp up. And I said, I'm staying in the game. I want to finish this inning. So I said, you sure you're all right? And he said, I'm in the game. And I looked at Suzuki, says, hey, Suzuki said, let him finish. I said, hey, you don't have to twist my arm. I mean, you're throwing the ball good, but I want to make sure you're okay. And he was good. I mean, he finished the inning strong.
I'll finish up in this row behind.
There's obviously a lot that was working for Strasburg tonight, but with his changeup specifically, what did you see there that makes that so impossible to hit?
Yeah, I talked about this earlier with his changeup. It's for me, anybody who has a good changeup, their arm action is really good, and his was really good today. I mean, he has the same tempo as he does with his fastball, and the ball at the end just disappears. And he was really good. But I think honestly, what made it really good today was his fastball. Utilizing his fastball at the right moment made his changeup that much better.
Davey,
Hey, Howie, when you get squeezed early on like that, does that change your mindset, your focus, or are you the same hitter? Doesn't matter what the strike zone is as the game goes along?
I think I've learned over time that you can't let the strike zone affect your approach. I could have went up my next at bat and that same pitch probably been a ball. And at the time, when you saw me talking to him, I just said, hey man, that pitch isn't close. And I kind of let it go after that. You say a little bit in the dugout, but after that, you just got to play baseball because it's not going to change what's already happened. And I think, when I was younger, I used to do that. It would take me out of my game a little bit. But now, you can't change those things. So you just got to keep moving forward. And, tonight the strike zone got a lot better. And, we put some good swings on some balls.
In the third row.
So the last time you hit 3 doubles in one game, what do you want to guess when that was?
Was I in Little League or something?
It was 2008, so 11 years ago. How does that feel to be able to do that again tonight?
You know what? I just play the game. I try not to think about, what kind of hits I get. If I'm getting hits, it's always a good thing. And I think as a team, we always want to just try to, put good swings on the ball. But it feels great, better than getting out. So, I'll take anything.
Barry in the back.
Howie, you guys have won 15-17, I think it is. How would you describe the feeling to be this hot at this time, and how would you explain it?
You know what? I haven't even realized that, to be honest with you. But I think the biggest thing is that just means we're playing really good baseball. Our pitching staff's been doing a really good job for us. That's pretty obvious with what these guys have been doing. It's each guy, one guy after the next. And, with what we've been doing with the bats, it's been fun. And we just try to play good baseball every day. And, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So you just try to let the game come to you, and we just hopefully try not to do too much.
Tim, to your left, Howie.
Howie, you came up a little too late for the Angel World Series. You left a little too early for the Dodgers World Series. You're 19-31 at one point this year. Did it ever occur to you that maybe being on the verge of this just might not be there for you?
I guess some of the best things come from the unexpected moments. You don't really realize at the time, when we're 19, I guess 31, people were counting us out already. I felt like from that point on, we kind of took off. The pitching was really good, our defense was great, and our bats got hot. And I think when you look at it like that, anything could happen in this game, and that's why we play every day, because of the possibility of where we're at right now. And I feel like those games, playing and being down like that, they're kind of like playoff games in a sense. You're rolling, you're playing games. Every game counts, and that's why we play 162.
Tom in the first row.
Howie, it seemed to a lot of us that you've been on every pitch pretty much all year, but are you particularly locked in now? When did it sort of click to that? And a bigger question, you've been hitting at a much different level the whole last 3 years. Can you just give us one or two reasons for that?
Just trying to get smarter, making adjustments, I would say, is the biggest thing, trying to be more efficient with my body and my swing. Kevin Long is a big part of that. Kevin lives out in Phoenix. I live in Phoenix. And it's funny because the first time we met, I said to him, hey, what can I do to get better? And he had a list, like he had wrote down on like a pad of paper. And I wasn't expecting that. This is the first time I'd ever hit with him. And he had this sheet of paper, and he goes, all right, well, this is what I know about you. This is what you hit with this, this, and this. And then we got to work from there, and that's, being here with Dusty. I always had wanted to play with Dusty Baker when I came over here, and then I love the city. I love being here. I love the team, and I re-signed for 2 years. And last year was kind of bittersweet because I got off to a good start and ruptured my Achilles. So having the ability to come back this year and to be a part of this team and to be a part of the guys in the locker room, I think that was huge. And me and Kevin and Joe Dillon, we got to continue the process that we had already started with my hitting. And, I just trusted them and stuck with it, and, they just helped me get better at a time when I really needed to.
We'll finish up with AJ in the back.
How you've been in the playoffs a lot in your career. Are you appreciating this run any differently than maybe earlier in your career?
I enjoy it all, because without all the mistakes and all the hardships and all the successes earlier in my career, none of this would have been available. None of this would be possible without all that. I talk with Max quite a bit, and you're like, man, don't you wish you could go back and be how you are now then? And he goes, no, I wouldn't change it because all those failures are helping you with the success now. And I think that's the way I look at it is, all those failures, and even now my failures still help me be successful. You appreciate it even more. So this is definitely truly special in a sense that I can appreciate where I came from to where I'm at now.
Anthony, take us through the diving play to get up to throw that. I mean, that's obviously a headlong dive, and you could get up and make the throw.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just reacted to it. He hit it pretty hard, and I didn't even think I was going to get to it. But I think I caught it behind my body instead of actually parallel. So, I mean, when I saw that I caught it, I figured I had a lot of time to get back up since he hit it about 200 miles an hour, and just try to make a good throw.
And also standing in the back.
Anthony Chiprier, ABC 7 Sports in D.C. First NLCS game for the Nationals here at Nationals Park. Sold-out crowd, brought the energy. You talked a lot about in the regular season about getting these guys out here, seeing this team. Do you feel like this was the moment you guys were anticipating in a first NLCS game?
Yeah, definitely. The fans definitely showed up today, and they've been nothing short of amazing during this playoff experience. And hopefully that we could continue to have them show up more and more. So maybe if they're standing room only, just let them in. More the merrier.
Second row on your left.
Obviously you're a free agent at the end of the year. Is this winning streak and the Nats doing so well, it's going to make it hard for you to even think about signing elsewhere?
Oh, man, I'm not even thinking down the road. I don't even know what I did yesterday, and I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I live here at the moment, one day at a time.
Standing in the back.
Anthony, to see what Strauss did tonight, but you think about the three first games of this series, can you ever imagine this rotation doing what it did in the 3 games in this series so far?
Yeah, definitely. Been around Max for a while, been around Strauss for a while, and watching Sanchi pitch throughout the whole year, I know what they're capable of. And like I said, they've been nothing short of amazing, and they had their best stuff these last few days. And I know Corbin's going to go out there and try to be just as lights out as they have been. And I think he made a mention about that earlier in the year, saying that he doesn't want to be left out or something like that, especially after seeing pitchers that are starting pitching in front of him dominate. So I know he's going to bring it.
And also standing in the back.
Going back to that play, the diving play, you smiled afterwards. Everyone seems to smile after these big plays. You talked a lot about fun and just enjoying this experience, but I wonder how much has having fun been a part of getting to this point where you're now 1 win away from going to the World Series?
Yeah, I mean, at the end, it's just a game. I mean, there's bigger things going on in this world than, the 90-feet bases and the 330-foot fences. So, I mean, if you don't have fun out here in this game or in anything that you do, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. So, in the end, just have fun.
Other questions? Tom?
In addition to everybody being as healthy as the team ever
Is there anything in particular clicking these last 3 weeks? You've had other good streaks, but you're really playing good baseball now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've been the same team throughout, longevity of the year, and even from spring training, when we had our great times and when we had our bad times, and now we're just riding a wave of a good time right now. So we personally don't want to get too high in our highs and too low in our lows, and kind of just ride this wave as long as we can.
Do a couple more. Jamal in the back.
You've been playing behind Steven for a couple of these playoff games where he just kind of went out and been as dominant as he has. What's it like playing behind him? Is it any different than the playoffs? I mean, just what is it like watching that guy do that?
It's amazing watching him. It can get kind of boring when he's striking everybody out. But it's definitely awesome. Like I said, I've been behind him for a long time now, and man, he just continues to go after hitters. He's confident in every one of his pitches. He'll throw it at any count, and so it's just awesome just to be behind.
Tim in the first row on your left, Anthony.
What makes Howie Kendrick a good hitter?
He's the greatest ever. I mean, you see the man. He's, 36 years old, and he's still doing it. He's built like a freaking cinder block. He's huge. But, man, he stays short. I mean, he's strong. So if he puts that barrel to it and he stays inside the ball, I mean, you've seen it. He does damage. And so he knows how to hit, and that's what he does.
What do you think you're going to be doing in 36?
Hopefully not playing baseball. Probably sit on the couch hanging out with my kids. He's probably going to play for another 20 years.
David in the center.
Anthony, what was said in that meeting on the mound in the 7th inning when everybody came out?
Like Davey or the infield?
Davey and the infield.
I can't tell you all the good stuff. I think there's a lot of just trying to see where Strauss was, and just trying to. I mean, I think as a manager, you try to get a feel. You ask certain questions to see who's going to be responded, and what the response is going to be. So I think he was just trying to get a feel how Strauss felt personally, and then the answer was going to dictate what was going to happen. And
you guys, short answer.
You guys saw how that went.
A couple last ones for Anthony. We'll finish up right here.
Anthony, going along with the theme of the veteran guys, the old guys, how about what Ryan Zimmerman's been able to do with all the injuries that he's gone through to come through these last couple weeks?
Man, he's been amazing as well, especially, like you said, dealing with injuries. It's personally knowing about dealing with injuries, knowing that it's definitely a roller coaster ride mentally, and you got to stay on top of it, and you're going to have a lot of great days going through your rehab process, but you're going to have a lot of bad days as well where you feel like it's the end of the world. You're not ever going to get better because you stay stagnant. But he continued to grind, and he shows up each and every day trying to get better, and it's a testament to who he is as a person. So it's been great.
Can you just walk us through the conversation with Davey on the mound there in the 7th, and just how much did you kind of want to finish that inning?
Yeah, I mean, it was, he just had to come out there and check on me, and, I told him I'm good. So.
And to your right.
Steven, can you put into perspective what yourself and Max and Anibal has been able to do in the first 3 games of this series and pitch the way you guys have?
I mean, it's, you take it one game at a time, and, you're at this point in the season where, it's just leave it all out there on the field and take whatever happens.
Other questions? Right here.
You really flew through that first inning. I think it was less than 5 minutes. What were you thinking heading out of that for the rest of the game?
Not much. I mean, you just try and take it one pitch at a time and, go as long as you can. So really it's just comes down to making pitches.
Alden in the third row.
Hey, Steven, I know getting this far takes everybody, but was there an understanding in your mind going into the postseason that if you guys are going to keep moving on here, that the starting rotation is going to really have to carry a load, and you guys were going to have to put together outings like the ones that you guys have this month?
I mean, back in May, we kind of knew that was going to be the case. So, again, I mean, it's it's the nature of the game, and we're a team, and I think guys that have stuck around in the bullpen for the course of the year, they've only gotten better. You look at what Tanner Rainey, having Rodney here now. Those guys have given us, big innings, especially down the stretch. And, my job is just to go out there and go as long as I can and keep it close. And, guys scored some runs tonight, and, we came out on top.
Seated way back in your left, Scott.
Steven, how fun was that hug from Parra in the dugout? And how much love has he given you the past few months? He says he's all about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not much of a hugger, but, they kind of just surround me, so I just have to take it.
David, we'll get you the mic.
See, when you're getting toward the end of a start, like the seventh tonight, what is it that you depend on or dial back to try to get you through those innings when the mechanics may be a little screwy? And
I just kind of stick to my approach, really focus on that. Tendency when you kind of feel that you're close to the finish line is that everything speeds up, and typically when I let that happen, it ends up being a pretty long inning, and like it was there, so you just have to make the adjustment when that happens.
Sam in the second row.
Steven, what's the key to executing the changeup exactly how you want to?
I think everything's off of your fastball. Mechanically, if you execute your fastball, it's really just a grip change. You're doing the same exact thing.
Any questions? Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Could you kind of describe? Davey's talked about you have two different changeups. Could you kind of describe the difference between those two changeups?
What do you mean exactly? I don't have two different changeups. I just throw one. But
I guess maybe Kurt and Davey have said you throw it two different ways, maybe.
Sometimes I throw a good one and sometimes I don't. Or, I don't know. It's two different ones. So
Fair enough.
I just kind of let it do its thing. Just throw like a fastball.
Anything else for Steven? We'll take two more.
Steven, this team's mantra all year long has been one game at a time, go 1-0, that kind of thing from Davey. But can you allow yourself at all to think about one game away from the World Series?
You guys can. But right now, I think, it's been just such an amazing year, and I think it's really been great just because from where we had to come from. And, we've got such a great group of guys, and it's fun. It's fun being around the guys and going out there and competing together. And I think you ask anybody in there, and we just want to stay together and keep playing.
I'll finish up in the first row.
And Strauss, against the Dodgers, maybe the curveball wasn't getting the strike calls that you liked early on. It seemed like you were getting those strike calls early on in this game. How important is it for you to get the curveball in for a strike in the game like this tonight?
Yeah, it's just funny how baseball works. Like, I just remember in LA, like, I was really locked in the bullpen. Curveball felt really good, and I went out there and kind of lost me for a little bit. Whereas today, curveball wasn't very good in the bullpen, but that's happened enough times that it kind of doesn't matter, and it just showed itself pretty early in the game, and it was right where I wanted it to be.